You ready, Bila?
Yeah.
Are you sure you're ready? What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another vlog here on Emkwan Vlogs. Oh, if you're wondering who this is, this is the wife. She hasn't been in the vlogs in for like forever, and pull her out of the closet. If you're new to the channel and wondering who this person is, this is the wife, aka Bila. I wanted to break up the kind of normal vlogs that we do here on the channel. And I mentioned to you guys that what we want to start doing is answering questions from you lot. Now, it seems like before I asked that, quite a few of you were sending through questions. A lot of the questions revolved around kind of life, advice, relationships, a whole range of different categories. And what we've decided to do is we've decided to start focusing on some of those questions here on the channel. We try and answer questions in a kind of a, you know, an informal kind of chatty way based on our
experience. Yeah.
Based on our experience and our kind of life age, I don't know. When I asked this question about you guys sending us messages, we got quite a lot of messages related to relationships, interestingly enough. And what I've done is I picked one of those out, and I just want to answer that because it seems to be a common kind of question that's come about from quite a few of you. I'm not going to mention the name because she's asked me to keep it anonymous, but she starts off by saying thank you for your vlogs, we love what you do, thank you very much. Okay, so here's a question. So I have a question for the vlogs. I'm 28 years old and have been looking to meet someone to be with seriously with the aim of marrying them in the future. My family have been encouraging me lately too, and I kind of agree with them. I have a good job and financially take care of myself. My family and friends have introduced me to a few guys. Ooh, all at once? But there's always something up with them. It's hard to explain. So far, all the guys I've met in the last 6 months haven't had the right vibes. People are being to say I'm being too picky. I think she means people are saying or beginning to say that she's too picky. But this could potentially be the biggest decision of my life. I'm struggling with what I should be looking at in a guy in terms of serious long-term relationships. It would be great if you can give me some advice. Would also love to know a guy's perspective, what they would look for in a potential spouse or long-term relationships.
Good question, huh?
Right.
Where do we start?
Where do we start? I think the important thing is that like marriage has to, or the decision to get married, or the decision to get into a long-term relationship has to come from you. I think that's really important, because if it doesn't, then you kind of feel pressured.
Ready for it.
Exactly.
From my experience, when I was looking to get married, I think there was a few things I had in mind.
I think it's like what are the general things that you should
general
look for?
things. I think firstly is character, like whether the guy is what you're laughing at.
Okay, I'll explain. All right, go on.
Okay,
right.
So like, you know, when you get to meet the person, you'll get a vibe of like whether they're honest, whether they're kind, whether they're caring. Do you think? Yeah,
I think I'm gonna go back to like being a bit of a teacher in this and say that think about like what it is that you're looking for. I think that's really important, even before the character. Like, it's gonna sound really crazy, but get a pen, get a paper, and actually write down what are the things that you're looking for. Don't put them in order or anything like that. Just write them down. If there are 100 things that you're looking for, write those down. I think if if there are 5 things that you are looking for, write those down. That's the first thing that you've got to do, because you've got to kind of.
No, but that list can go on forever, innit?
But yeah, but
I think you got to like really. There's got to be like a few things which like really you need to focus on first.
So write the things down first. This is what I think. Write the things down first, and then look at what are the top 5 things.
Yeah. Like
from that list, you choose the top 5 things. You know, I really did that. I had a long list, right? But I did prioritize that list, and I did say that these were the 5 important things. And mashallah, most of them Bila ticked off. Most. But you know, even within that, there were like boundaries, and I said, look, you know, I don't mind if it's, you know, on the edge of this, or if it's, you know, on that end. You know, these are what my boundaries are for each one, and then that's because if you choose the top 5 things, then that will help you then get, you know, clear about what you are looking for. The other things, they can kind of change. Like for example, you might, you know, from a girl's perspective, she might be like, okay, I want someone that looks like Shah Rukh Khan, or Hrithik Roshan, right? But is that the most important thing? Well, you're not going to find them unless Shah Rukh Khan comes knocking on your door. But like, you know, but that can be one of the reasons. I mean, that's an important. That's an important factor,
I think
right?
for every individual, it's different. So like, what you want in a person may not be what somebody else wants in another person. So like, it's really important to narrow down what you think, what you think is important to you, right?
Yeah, I think that's.
And to me, it was character. To me, it was like personality. Like I felt
Dashing good looks.
No, I think it's really important to have some sort of attraction as well towards a person. I think, you know, you're not gonna instantly click if you don't physically see each other as
bae.
yeah.
Or potential bae.
But personality for me, character, you know, whether he was a good guy, whether he was honest, whether he had good manners, you know, whether he's funny, whether, you know,
whether he was an international YouTube celebrity. No, I'm joking.
No, that came in after.
That came in after, actually.
But I do believe when you're looking for a spouse, you shouldn't be too picky either.
This is interesting.
And it's really important, because I think everybody does this. I think when you initially start looking for somebody, I think your standards are quite high, and then you realize that, oh gosh, this person doesn't even exist, because it's like perfection in your eyes, what you think you know, an ideal husband would be. Like, there's no such thing as a perfect person. You kind of have to take the pros and the cons. I know. Yeah,
I think also the other thing is that we don't know. I mean, she mentioned in here that she's met some guys already and that they've got bad vibes. I'm assuming it sounds a bit like the way she described it, perhaps someone that comes from a like an Asian background. So I'm not sure. I mean, it would have been interesting to find out what those vibes were that you said were wrong, because that would help kind of perhaps understand better what you're looking for. I think it's all about making very clear what you're after, what you're into, and prioritizing that list, and then being flexible enough to know that, okay, what are the boundaries within that? For example, you know, for you, if it's characteristics or personality, like what happens if someone is like 80% alright in character and personality, but then part of their personality is that they get really angry and they shout, and you know, they might not be physical or whatever, but like they get really angry. And like, that's true of me. Like, when I get angry, I get really angry. And the funny thing is that sometimes B-lists, I hate that about your character, that you get angry. But like, my anger is nothing compared to what it used to be, and nothing compared to like other people that I know that get angry. Like, seriously. But for B-list, it's a big deal. So like, you've got to be able to be flexible enough. Like, for example, it might be on B-list's list that she hates people that get angry. But you know, personality kind of trumps that.
There's other good things about him which overweighs the bad, you know. It's like, it's really important to look for the good things in a person before you look for the negatives.
Like, this is the vibe that I've got from speaking to people that were looking or asking for advice from our family and friends for rishta or for marriage, is that I felt some of the times when they spoke, they were treating it like they were looking for a product. And when you look at something from that mindset, you start looking for mistakes. You start purposely trying to find mistakes. So it's like, oh, what can I find out wrong from this? Or what can I, you know, how is he wrong here, that, you know, there? Or, you know, and then that becomes quite negative then. It can put the other person off, it can put you off, and it's not really the right mindset. You've got to try and be positive about it. I know the whole world at the moment is kind of geared towards finding negativity in everyone and every situation, circumstance. You've not got to have that mindset. You have to do your due diligence. So like, you should do your background. You know, if this is someone new, you should ask people, you know, what they know about that person, if they're good, if they're bad. You know, I don't think there's anything wrong about snooping up on their social media, for example, because, you know, that gives you a vibe on what kind of vibe that person is on as well. We're all human at the end of the day.
Mistakes, so there's no such thing as perfection.
So I would say those are probably some of the aspects, right?
Yeah. What was the second part?
The second part of the question was like, from a guy's perspective, what do they look for? Would also like to know a guy's perspective, what they would look for in a potential spouse or long-term relationship. Look, again, it varies from guy to guy. You know, if I was to answer this, I would go back to my list. I think for most guys, look, one of the things that females need to remember is that guys really are, if they're serious, then they are going to be looking for someone that is going to make a good home, make a good family. I think also, you know, just the fact that someone can click with that person as well. I think a lot of guys that I've spoken to that are looking for partners at the moment always mention that as well. They say that, you know, they don't want a girl that they find it quite awkward when girls start asking them very sort of materialistic questions, and I can understand why a girl would do that, because if I had a daughter now, as a father, those are some of the questions that I would ask, because I want to make sure that that boy is able to take care of my daughter. So I understand that now. However, you know, when you're in that situation, it can be quite difficult.
Yeah.
But I think that a lot of the guys do talk about being able to click with the girl, you know, that she's friendly and that it's not too serious with her.
I think the other thing about relationships now, especially nowadays, like women, mashallah, are very educated now, and a lot of them have good jobs. And I think when they're looking for spouses, they have very high standards.
Yeah.
Like I've met quite a lot, and nowadays, I don't know, I think standards have got a lot higher. I think people need to lower the standards a little bit, and be a little bit more humble, and also, you know, like, you're not greater than the guy and he shouldn't be any greater than you. You should both be seen as equals in a relationship, so you should treat it like that, you know, when you're looking for a spouse as well. I know?
Yeah, I think that's important.
I think that's really important.
I think particularly if you're, you know, from a modern generation. I know that from slightly older generation, even from my age group, like from 32 onwards, and again, it depends on where you're from. There are some people that will kind of look at, you know, girls or boys based on social, you know, stature, and can they fit in with our crowd, and can they fit in with our family kind of demographics and stuff. But I think that's changed a fair bit. But yeah, I think you're right, you know, that you need to be equals in this kind of relationship, and that really does matter. Don't leave it too long as well, like, and it's really hard, it's very difficult to say this, because I get the point that you want to try and find the right person, and it's a big decision, but sometimes what can happen is you can get overthink this, and you know, when you're overthinking it, it can just prolong the process, and then you get sort of into the cycle of being let down and not finding someone, and is it worth it, or forget it for a while, and it can just, yeah, it can make you miserable actually. Also, the last thing, check with your family, check with your friends, you know, take their advice as well, and this is when you want good people around you, because, you know, sometimes you can get advice from people that have known you for a while, and that can be quite valuable.
Yeah, and also, like, I suppose trust your instincts as well. Sometimes we do worry a lot, and, you know, like, for a guy and a girl to get married and to have a binding contract for the rest of your life is a big thing, and you know, obviously you do want the right person, but you know, when you do meet potential partners and stuff, like, go with an open mind, and, you know, like, sometimes gut feelings are also an indication, and they kind of tell you, like, oh, you know, this person might be a bit right. Because I remember when I made that decision to marry him,
yeah,
you know, like, you'll never know whether it's 100%, it's going to be 100% right for you, but you just gotta trust, you just gotta go with it if you think it's right.
Cool. Well, we hope that's answered your question. If it has, then good. If it hasn't, then really sorry if it's left you kind of more confused than you started off. But yeah, that's it from us for this video. If you found it useful, then please remember to smash that like button down below. Leave your comment as well if you think there's anything that we've missed out, or anything perhaps could be said better or better advice, then leave it in the comment section down below. And if you want to send through your question, it's super easy. The link to the email is down below, and I'll also put it on the screen over here. Shoot us an email at that email address, and hopefully we'll be able to answer it when we get round to it. Hopefully a start of a new series if this went down well. We'll see. Let us know as well. And I'll post a link to all of our socials down below so you can follow us there. Till then, live life. Emkwan and Bila out. Peace and blessings.